welcome to Old Guys Loving Life. This is Perry and this is Wayne.
Hey, how you guys doing out there?
Welcome to another episode of Old Guys Loving Life. We're glad you made it. We look forward to hearing from you and your feedback.
That's right.
oldguyslovinglife@gmail.com. Drop us a note like other people have and give us some show topics and ideas and let us know how you like the show. Today we're just kind of hanging out in the garage.
Yeah, my favorite spot because there's the refrigerator over there full of beer.
Full of beer.
All kinds of good flavors. So today we were just talking about a matter of fact, we was talking about the beer thing.
Right.
The buzz or the truck thing.
The beer bus.
Oh, the beer bus, that's right. And how do they go from bar to bar and they do all the different breweries. And, of course, as you know, at the time they got beer on the bus, did you say, right?
Right. They have beer on the bus, and you go to different breweries, and you go in and have 2 or 3 beers at each brewery. And I'm thinking, well, you know, you got people different ages, and everybody that drinks beer have to pee. Right? What do they do? They got a bucket? They got a porta potty? What do they got in there? Are we going to stop at every 7-Eleven so we can all get off the bus and pee or what?
No, catheters. They put the little cups on there, the end of the tube. And I'll let you guys imagine. Hey, take it that way. And then all that does, as they drive down the road, you see this guy look like a water trail.
Yeah, all the catheters feed into a garden hose
right.
that just hangs at the bottom of the bus.
I just don't know how they do it with the girls, though. But,
well, they do have female catheters. So everybody has to go in and have their catheter fitted. And then all the catheters tie into one garden hose. So the bus is driving up through the streets of Tampa and St. Pete, and there's just a stream of piss.
Well, of course, the health department would really love all this. I know.
Shh, don't tell them.
Well, anyway, we got to talking on that subject, and it was very interesting how they really do it because you hit so many places or breweries, and there's so many breweries in St. Pete in Tampa area. Even look at Sanford now. Sanford is just booming with a lot of different areas to go to.
I know,
and it's really a lot of fun. And how they do it on the bus thing, I don't know.
I know it's crazy, man. It's like, think about it. Like years ago, when you and I first started homebrewing,
right.
we had to create our own type of beer, and we had these craft breweries in California and Colorado, but we didn't get the beer here.
Yeah, no,
so the only way to get that type of beer was to make it our own self.
Right.
And now over a period of time, over the last 10 years or so, you can get pretty much any kind of craft beer across the country, across the world you want, right here in Florida.
Florida's booming.
There's no need to homebrew anymore.
No, that is true. And a lot of the guys like us, that we, like he was saying, we didn't have all these good beers. And Florida was dominated by Budweiser and the
Miller,
Miller, the big corporations. They controlled the state until finally it loosened up and
Well, they had to change the container laws. That was the biggest thing.
Changing
the container size.
Right. And now they got it where you can just taste, stop and drink any kind of beer, all kinds of from almost around the world.
What are you drinking today?
I'm still with that Voodoo Ranger. I just can't get away from it.
Look, folks, he does drink other kinds of beers, but it's like the last 3-4 weeks in a row, it's the same beer. I don't know.
Yeah, well, my other favorite one is that Turbo. I like that. That's Sierra Nevada, Pale Ale.
What's that?
Turbo?
Turbo?
That's the Southern slang.
I haven't heard about it.
You haven't heard of the Southern slang?
I haven't heard of Turbo.
Oh!
I hear Southern slang every day from you.
Yeah, well, I'm a Georgia Bulldog.
He's got to bring up this Georgia Bulldog crap every episode, don't he?
Well, that's because your car's got that symbol on it of that bird eagle thing.
Well, I can't help it. You know, the majority of our listeners are Auburn fans, right?
No.
Yes. War damn eagle.
Man, I got to talk to you guys.
I'll save this for later, for more like for football season.
Yeah.
But Georgia and Auburn have the greatest rivalry in college football history. Most people think it's Auburn and Alabama,
right?
But Georgia and
Auburn
go back to Civil War days.
Oh yeah, man.
We'll, like I said, we're just going to tease you with this, but we'll talk about this more during football season. But
right, because Georgia, they win mostly the conference now.
Oh yeah,
and
once in the past 10 years, and he thinks they win it every year. Okay,
all right, who won this year?
Okay, this year. That's what I'm talking about. All right, folks, I am drinking a Leininkugel's Snowdrift Vanilla Porter. It's a 6% alcohol. Leininkugel's is probably one of my favorite beers. You get it; it's brewed in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, and I discovered this beer many years ago. And they come out with a summer shandy that we just love to sip on.
On a hot summer day,
hanging around the pool. Yeah,
right. And a lot of the beers in the hot summer days, I really like Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Of course, the IPAs, and some of the Pale Ales got a lot of good flavor. And right now, our weather is really weird. Here we are in New Smyrna Beach, and I think it's about now 60
today,
69.
Oh, it's like 64 right now.
Really?
Yeah.
And here he is in shorts, and I'm in blue jeans.
Yeah. Well, I was expecting to go to the beach today. I wasn't expecting to be bundled up like I was in the freaking Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin.
Boy, you would have really been a big surprise for you.
Yeah.
Going to the beach today.
Yeah.
You'd probably be the only one down there.
I know. Freeze my nuts.
Well, be a lot of the Northerns, of course. They're always down there, but you can always tell because they're the one with the shorts, T-shirt, run around with tennis shoes, and they're just not wrapped up at all,
Well, that's the thing when you move to Florida and you live or you live in Florida for a while. You go to the beach or you go out to a restaurant or something. The tourists are wearing the T-shirts and the shorts,
right?
And they're dressed for summer weather, even though it's cool. You get the slightest little cool snap, and the locals are dressed up like Eskimos.
They wrap right up.
But
so who turned the air conditioner on outside?
Right. And then what's funny is to see these same people, from Iowa or Nebraska or somewhere,
right,
come down here in the middle of the summer where it's like 98% humidity and 100-something degrees.
Yeah.
And they're just pink skin, just sweating bullets.
Yeah, because they're not used to the humidity and everything.
No.
Oh, I see. It doesn't bother me. Now you've seen snow.
Yes.
I've seen snow maybe a couple times. As a matter of fact, one day it was here in New Smyrna, and we had I said snow blizzard or snowstorm, and I was getting it up off the ground and making a ball and everything, and my wife said, "That's not snow, that's sleet."
Right.
I said, "Sleet? What's the difference? It's white."
It's frozen.
It's frozen. And I even put it in the freezer, and I was going to save it. And one day she thought the freezer was all screwed up and the ice machine was good, so she threw everything away. She threw my souvenir away.
She threw his balls away.
For a Southern boy, that's just terrible.
Oh, man. All right, so what else you want to talk about? You want to talk about our park?
Oh, yes. We got a place down our street that we've been complaining. Well, Perry has really done the most work. That the park down there had a nice
Well, it was
pond.
a retention pond.
Yeah.
And then the city didn't do anything with it. It just sat there. It's just a body of water. And we have to sit here and look at this thing in our street every day. And the hurricane came, and and debris, tree limbs and stuff's in the pond, and the weeds growing up around it and everything. And so took a few phone calls. We got the vice.
We stayed on it for weeks, right on that commissioner.
Got the vice mayor come out here and take a look at it. He said, "Yeah, you do have a problem out here." He said, "What do you want?" I said, "Well, I'd like to have a fountain, a park bench, and just have it cleaned up. We're not asking for much."
And a pole with poopy bags for the
no,
dog.
No, we didn't ask for that. That was a bonus.
Oh, that was a bonus?
That was a bonus.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we just asked for the grass to be cut on a regular basis. Give us a park bench. Well, as it turned out, we can't have a fountain because it's brackish water,
right?
And the salt water will deteriorate the pump, so we can't have a fountain.
In case if anybody doesn't know what brackish water is, that's salt water and fresh water mixed together, and it looks like a real darkish, almost darkish color water, but it's got a lot of salt in it, and that's the brackish part. So some things that you can put in it, some things you can't.
Yeah, so came home the other day, and there's a park bench, and
I'm going to give you another beer.
Oh, do that.
Talk.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a park bench. There is a garbage can. There is a dog poop bag station. And they've cut the grass. They've cut back all the
We'll talk about that.
the scrub around that was growing around the oaks, and just cleaned it up.
Yeah, and it looks great. It's got now the girls and the guys are going to go down there and sit and have a romantic area and watch your dog do their things like that.
Romantic area.
Yeah,
all
romantic.
the neighbors are going to sit here and watch you making out with your wife at the park.
Right.
Okay. So,
and of course, the other guys will be, right.
So I'm going to toot my own horn here. So I think, since I did a lot of this leg work on this thing, why don't we just, I'm going to be egotistical, which is totally unlike me, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's name this park Bonds Park.
And that's not Bonds that, the spy. Was it?
Sure it is. Bond Park. That's
Bond
James Bond.
James Bond. Yeah, that's it.
No, I'm just joking, but it's nice to have it cleaned up.
Yes, and it looks really nice, and we're really happy about that part. And our little quaint little neighborhood that we got.
Cheers.
Here. Cheers to you. Sorry about that. We have to drink every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Keep her going. Oh, you gotta tell them
All
about the new beer that we Perry found.
Well, yeah.
Sierra Nevada.
Yeah, I went to Sam's, and they had a case of Sierra Nevada beers, and in the case you had the Sierra Nevada Torpedo Tropical Torpedo. Right. You had the Torpedo. You had the red IPA.
Red IPA. I just saw that, and either of those are great.
And this one is called No Good IPA. I have not heard of this beer. I am anxious to try it. It's still hot, so we're not ready.
And
just
it's
put it in the
6.2.
And it's a 6.2.
No Good IPA, Sierra Nevada. Now, Sierra Nevada is one of the oldest beer companies that actually in Florida was started coming down here, and that's the only thing we had as a highlight instead of Budweiser.
Well, you know why we started getting it more in this area, right?
Why?
Well, because they started brewing it in Chico, California.
Oh.
But